This is what people are not going to understand.
I know.
And it's mad that people don't understand this, but the underlying hero here is you. And I want you to know this, that people need to do this more.
That young person or young talent is doing well. Let's support him or her. Right. Let's open doors for him or her. Let's get them onto red carpets that, they wouldn't expect to be in. There's so many awards out there, and I'm going to tell you this, which I see. And I've actually seen that they don't even support under 18s.
Oh, wow.
Right? In music, football, cricket. So how are we going to represent? How are these young talent going to fulfill their dreams when they're a young talent at 8, 9 years old who's singing away, trying to get visibility, trying to get on stages when we're not celebrating at that age?
I'm so excited for the next answer that you're about to give me for the next question, because I know everyone that's listening is probably thinking, yeah, but who are you? Everyone's thinking, yeah, but how did you get your kids to Parliament? How did you get this, branding? How do you know all this stuff?
Yeah.
You sell yourself short so much. Okay, I'll be honest, because I've listened to your other episodes and your other podcasts, and you gloss over who you are. Tandy, welcome to the Appauling Podcast. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Thank you.
I want to say, first of all, it's so easy to say that I want my kids to be great. It's so easy to say that and put that out there. And it's so easy to put that weight on them and then say to them that you have to be great. Go away and don't just do this. Go away and be an actor. Go be a doctor. Go do something great. Be an athlete. Be a footballer. But that's what parents do. We just stop there and say, well, that's it. I've told you to do that now. So I expect you to go away and do it. Yeah. And none of them do. What you do is you've set the blueprint of literally what parents should be doing. Yeah. You go that extra mile. You not only push them, you guide them, you hold their hand, and you go through it. And funny enough, just before a couple of days ago, I was looking at Lewis Hamilton's story, and his dad was doing multiple jobs just to support his early years as a race driver. I didn't know that. Yeah. And he took him to all his races. He did everything for him. And Lewis Hamilton credits his dad, and he will say that without my dad doing those things, there's no way I could have done it. Yeah. Whereas in my mind, I was thinking Lewis Hamilton must have been so skilled as a child, and he just raced his way through. There's not at all. Skill can only take you so far. Right. You need someone's hand to take you there. Yeah. And you, Tandy Virdee, are the embodiment of holding people's hand and taking them there.
Oh, thank you.
So I just want to say it's an honor to have you on the show and to talk about everything that you're doing, all the great things that you're doing.
No,
thank you.
Honestly, a pleasure being on here. I know we connected a while back and trying to do the podcast for a while, but you're absolutely honored.
So let's start with your company. So let's start with New Young Blood.
New Young Blood, yeah.
So was it New Young Blood first, or did Rocket Sonic come first?
Rocket Sonic came first.
Okay. So can you tell us about Rocket Sonic?
So Rocket Sonic was a homeschooling project back in COVID. So my boys were 8 at that time. And, my wife's very academic. She's got 2 degrees. And in the morning, she would do the maths and and the English. And in the afternoon, I would do art, because my background's art, right? And, I was at art college for 5 years. And then my twin boys would say, oh, yeah, we love the afternoon because we're always just drawing all afternoon. So, and then I was actually working on a project at that time during COVID for Tommy Hilfiger, for Estee Lauder, for James Bay. It was for a Facebook live podcast, live performance to promote the new fragrance called Impact for Tommy Hilfiger.
Wow.
And my boy would say, oh, what would you do? And as a living. And then I thought, you know what? I need to show them. I need to show them what I do. I've worked with so many big brands and been at all the big agencies in the world. I thought, I need to show them how to develop a brand or build a brand from ground up. So I said, look, I'm going to set up a little project for you, right? But then at the same time, it's going to build your confidence in terms of things that you wouldn't learn at school, presenting, getting up, presenting, sharing your ideas, talking openly. And then I said, come up with a logo. This is exactly what I do as a living, being a creative for 15 years before I went into consultancy. And my son came up with a logo of a rocket. It's on their Instagram channel on Rocket Sonic Wear. And they did a little a rocket. And I said, okay. And previous year, we went to NASA and saw a live rocket launch. And he's always been to rockets and stuff. And I said, okay, what do you want it to be? We're boys. Okay, good idea. Let's do it as a clothing brand. Okay, that's fine. Very competitive market. But, it was more about our journey together. That's the number one important thing. And I still share that story now. And I said, okay, you've got this logo. What do you want it to be? We want it to be a clothing brand. And then I said, okay, I will help you, 3 of us, develop that brand from ground up. And we've had a great journey so far. I've just kind of guided them how to use social media in a positive way, in developing a brand. And they've just seen it, organically grow, since, COVID. And, 4 or 5 years later, we're still working together. We've, obviously they've been lucky to win, I think, 7 awards since then, building their brand up. They're brand ambassadors for Kidpreneur Africa. They were at the first conference in London, talking about their journey, working with their dad, because entrepreneurship is not taught in schools, right? It's a skill that you only learn later in life when you start up a business. And I didn't learn any of this till I was 30. So I thought, it's so important for them to learn these skills, because it doesn't matter where you go in life, one day you're going to say, you know what, I want to work for myself. So I thought, let me teach them now, so that when they get to 18 or 21, they can say, I want to build another brand or start another company up. So, I've been lucky to have them learning, and now they create a bit of content and they're enjoying the journey, and seeing that, being in spaces, in award ceremonies, they're at the Houses of Parliament last year, picked up an award. So, it's so important for my kids and all kids to, they have bigger dreams, right, than us, right? They have much more bigger dreams nowadays. So it's so important to instill those dreams in them now, so that when they get older, they can say, my dad, us 3 worked together and from a little drawing made things happen. And that's the story I want to tell.
I'm so excited for the next answer that you're about to give me for the next question, because I know everyone that's listening is probably thinking, yeah, but who are you? Everyone's thinking, yeah, but how did you get your kids to Parliament? How did you get this, branding? How do you know all this stuff?
Yeah.
You sell yourself short so much. Okay, I'll be honest, because I've listened to your other episodes and your other podcasts, and you gloss over who you are and your experience and what you've done. Just a touch on it. Just a little touch. Can you just drop some heavy names on companies you've worked with?
Yeah. So, my background's 35 years in the creative industry. I've worked with all the top brands in the world, Tommy Hilfiger, Google, Nokia, Adidas, World Remit, Carphone Warehouse. I can just rattle off these names.
Let's just pause there and let that sink in.
And
Google.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I know. And you know what? Sometimes I don't, a lot of people have said that to me. Why don't I talk about my career and 35 years? That's my career.
Yeah.
It's there, my website and stuff like that. And we talk about personal branding. It seems to be the buzzword now. I was doing my personal branding 35 years ago with a portfolio, going to all the top agencies and saying, here's my work. So we hear about, we got to look at our personal branding, but I had a portfolio of my work.
Wow.
Where I was going around to the top agencies and saying, this is my work, this is who I am, and this is my personal brand. So, I've been so lucky to have an amazing team around me who wanted me to win and I wanted them to win, and I was lucky to be at, I always, when I left art college, I said, I want to work for the biggest agencies in the world, right? In advertising. And I've ticked every box. And I look back now and I think, being of South Asian, Punjabi, brown face, working in an industry, which is a tough industry to be in, right? Very tough, whether it's advertising, influencer marketing, social media. It's such a tough industry to be in. And I've been lucky to have worked in that industry. And I still, to this day, love what I do.
That's beautiful, that is. And again, you don't even talk about it.
Yeah, you know,
I mean,
it's something when people ask me, then I'll talk about it.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And it's like you've been there, done that, you conquered that, and now your sole focus is the next generation.
Yeah, you know.
And I can't credit that enough. That's absolutely beautiful, that is. And again, with your resume, with the names you've had, I would get that tattooed worked for Google. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Because that's so huge. And then for yourself, it's like, done.
Yeah,
I've done that. What's next? What's the next chapter? Just to touch on it, do you remember a project that you worked on back in the day with any brand that really stuck in your mind, so people can get a little idea of what exactly it is that you do?
So many.
Really?
You know, when I came out, again, going back art college, you know, I worked at a sponsorship marketing agency for 5 years. I had one of the best mentors, creative directors, who was absolutely still a mentor to this day. Lives in Italy, in his 70s, I think now. We still connected, we still speak to each other. He was my mentor. You know, he was one who really set me up in terms of doing great work. That was the number one, doing great work, pushing your creativity to the max, you know. And I was lucky to work with NEC was one of the brand sponsorship with Harlequins, the rugby club.
Oh, okay.
And we did a massive campaign with Will Carlin. We did a bus advertising. Back in the day, it was traditional advertising, right? Not social media. We did a bus advert, taxi advert. We did all the signage in Twickenham in terms of the NEC Harlequins partnership. We did the kit. That was one project, was just brilliant project, especially a mainstream project.
Yeah.
You know, that's one. You know, there's so many, you know, since then. And obviously, you know, working in the music industry as well in terms of cover designs as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I know we'll touch on that. You know, there's so many projects, and I mentioned one earlier, Tommy Hilfiger, you know, Diageo with Lady Leisure for a responsible drinking campaign we did. There's loads. And I think the Diageo one with Lady Leisure for Captain Morgan, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've actually got a bottle at home, right, which says Captain Virdee. It was sent by Diageo to me.
Oh, my goodness.
Campaign. I've never drank it. But yeah, that ended up winning 7 awards.
Beautiful. Wow.
You know, it was a grind, you know, Lady Leisure grind artist. But yeah, you know, there's so many projects that I've worked on which hold a great memory for me.
That's mad. That's just that plethora of experience as well, isn't it?
Mm.
How has AI changed things? This is something I wanted to talk to you about specifically because with your experience, and you've seen quite literally the birth of the internet, as in really explode. You've watched and slowly, not only watched it, you've been immersed in the process.
Yeah.
Now, it must have been such a shock to yourself to see how this is taking over everything.
Yeah.
Where do you see it going?
Needs to be regulated.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Needs to be regulated. You know, because you know, obviously working in the advertising industry and working within creative industry, it is a place where things are taking over. You know, we were talking about this earlier in terms of, you know, working with strategists and copywriters. You know, when if you're looking at, you know, copywriting as a skill, now we're using AI to take over that skill. You know, that's the scary bit. So technically, a copywriter can be redundant,
and that is happening out there,
right? And now it's happening. You know, even, you know, you look at photography as well now. You know, you take a picture, and you want the background changed, you want a few colors changed, you can do it instantly now. You don't need to go back and take the shot again or hire the photographer again. So, you know, things are changing. But yeah, it needs to be regulated, especially if you look at music. Look at music. How much AI is being used in music. That is a scary place to be.
I mean, again, it's a shame for artists.
It is. It's a huge shame.
Yeah, because they're just literally being replaced.
Yep.
I mean, again, I'm hoping to a certain degree it will never be able to take their place.
No.
But it's certainly heading that way.
Yeah.
It's for sure heading that way. Again, like podcasting.
Yeah.
I've seen a clip of Joe Rogan doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And then he put it up in an episode where he said, "This is not me."
Yeah.
And he said, "But it's my voice.
Yep.
It's making jokes the way I make jokes. It's like pausing the way he it was just him, and someone else had just typed out a lot of things that they wanted Joe to say."
Yeah.
deep fake.
It is deep fake, and that's happening a lot, especially promoting products.
Yeah.
When you've put a mainstream individual who's out there and you put their name to, or you put their voice to it, and he's promoting a product, people think, through social media, think it's real, right? But in fact, if you look deep into it, you find out that it's not real. This person hasn't endorsed the product.
Yeah.
That's where it gets quite scary.
I tell you one from stepping into the reality of how fake things are in reality as well, is I saw this thing that showed, it was a little clip on Instagram, it showed how advertisers actually fake their footage, as in, when they're actually filming something in first, that not using AI, but for example, like pizza. Yeah. When we see a slice of pizza come off the pizza and it's like all the cheese is beautifully coming away. It's not cheese. None of that is actually real. It's all specially designed little stuff that just to make it look cool. Yeah. And like when you have, for example, I don't know, like a cake and it's got jam oozing out of it. That's not our strawberry jam that we think is in there. No, it's probably like a mix of certain colors and things. So it runs and it makes it look glorious. That's why whenever you purchase something, it never looks like it does. It doesn't. The food doesn't look the same.
That's a funny story. I was at Tesco for 2 years and I was on leading the packaging team there.
Okay.
And they used to have food photographers there.
Oh,
and
really?
I used to go to the shoots. What you touched on, exactly what happened.
Really?
Right? Ice cream isn't ice cream.
Oh,
because if you leave ice cream for a long time, it melts.
Melts?
Right?
Yeah.
So it was fake ice cream, right? Yeah. It looked like ice cream. You look at all the adverts you see there, right, on TV now. But isn't that right? You are absolutely right.
Yeah. So, I mean, we should give AI some credit there. Yeah. It's not doing anything we weren't already doing.
Some of this stuff has just been coming real now, right?
Exactly.
It's been going on for years.
So let's talk about, we know Rocket Sonic, how that originated now. So where did the idea for New Young Blood come from?
So New Young Blood came from, obviously, my boy's journey, an extension of Rocket Sonic. But at the same time, in the last 5-6 years, I've been seeing a lot of amazing young talent, whether it's music, sport, whether it's, football, cricket, boxing, racing, acting, even modeling. And I thought, they're going through their own individual journeys in trying to represent, as they say. And I thought, with the experience I've got with what I've been working with my boys, why not create a platform that brings all this together? Now, a simple idea. And I looked at, obviously my background's marketing, and I thought, there's no space out there which is doing this. And it does go back to, representation. But if you come together, you can make it much more powerful in terms of what you want to do, in terms of, the young talent that needs visibility. It's so important for them at that age to have visibility. And and we've since last June, we've kind of been organically growing. We've had great support from mainstream individuals. Parents have been excellent, but at the end of the day, the talent needs to be there. The parents needs to support it. Otherwise, there's no platform. At the end of the day. But, there's so many amazing talent out there, which I've seen in the last 8-9 months, or actually even well before that. And we need to be represented. There's enough talent out there to get to mainstream music, cricket, football. The last 30 years, we are technically seeing the same people within the industry, but there's so many amazing talent out there. But their dreams die very quickly at 13, 14 because they're not getting supported. They're not getting the visibility. And then in 10 years' time, they'll look back and think, no one supported me. Right? And we as a community need to support them, because then representation will really matter. And then you will see more, talent in mainstream and subsequent disciplines.
I've talked about this before, Ron. Yeah. Multiple times. It's in our Punjabi culture, it's a famine mentality.
It is.
And that is so unfortunate. I mean, I say as an adult, if you want to pursue something, you've really got to get the mindset in your mind, because we're used to it now that you're going to do this by yourself. Your immediates might support you, but you're as a whole, your family and friends, if you're relying on them, you're surely going to fail.
Correct.
But children, our children are not going to make it unless there's more Tandy Virdees out there. I'll be honest with you. Unless people who have got nothing to gain from it aren't going to support it and share it. Just a simple share on social media can go so far.
Agree.
But people do not seem to understand this. It's a case of he's eating roti, his kids are eating roti. Why?
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, we should offer them ours.
Yeah.
They can offer it and we can all share. There's no sharing. There's no helping. There's no nothing. It's all team, me, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, people keep saying, I was watching something and someone said, who's better? Diljit Dosanjh, Karan Aujla, like AP Dylan. And it's like, who's the GOAT? Who's this? And like in my mind, I think as a Punjabi person, you cannot be asking these questions because you're creating that competition between them.
Yeah.
These guys have broken their backs to get to such heights. And it's our job as Punjabi community to keep them, hold that ladder for them, to keep them up there.
Yeah.
And instead of making them fight each other, we need to get them to collaborate. Let's get these guys together. If they can show our community what happens when they get together. I mean, I don't know when it was, but I think it's 2024, Netflix's most watched program was the roast of Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And what was that? That was a collaboration of everyone getting together. There's another one where it was the biggest halftime show for the what is it, American football?
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Yeah. Was when Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, when all of them got together. Yeah. I mean, time and time again, if we can just see collaboration, it's in our face, it's pushed and it's shown us. If you get together, you will make it. But we just don't do that. And then our biggest argument as Punjabi people is what? Oh, no, it's a racist industry. It's this, it's that. It's not. It's you guys don't want to help your own kind.
You know what? 100%. Competition, it's about collaboration. Competition happens at the bottom, collaboration happens at the top. This new young blood is all about collaboration, because the only way the movement can move forward in terms of representation is if you collaborate together, right? And let's drop the jealousy in terms of that young person or young talent is doing well. Let's support him or her. Right, let's open doors for him or her. Let's get them onto red carpets that, they wouldn't expect to be in. There's so many, there's so many awards out there, and I'm going to tell you this, which I see, and I've actually seen that they don't even support under 18s.
Oh wow!
Right, in music, football, cricket. So how are we going to represent? How are these young talent going to fulfill their dreams when they're a young talent at 8, 9 years old who's singing away, trying to get visibility, trying to get on stages when we're not celebrating at that age? What's the point of celebrating at 18 years old? Because by then they probably thought, no one supported me, no one helped me, nobody opened the door for me. And there's so many people within our community who can open doors, not just me, so many, right, who can just say, you know what, let's get that young talent in music, in TV, in business or it's sport. Let's just open the door for that person. Not just one. Let's get 10 of them together and then push them to the top. We've just done a brand sponsorship deal with a sport company to support a young boxer, Mehek. Last year, I saw her and I thought, what an incredible boxer. She's an actress, just starred in a McDonald's advert.
I see. Wow.
Then a couple of months later.
What was her name, sorry?
Mehek.
Shout out to Mehek.
Right. Shout out to Mehek. I'll do shout outs to all the beautiful young talent.
Let's talk about all of them today.
A month later, she goes, Tandy, I'm in a documentary. I said, okay, great. You follow Formula One?
I don't follow it, but I do keep
7 times world champion Lewis Hamilton. He's in the documentary, sitting beside him.
No way.
Right? And she talks about her journey of being of South Asian, Pakistani girl, expected to cook, clean, get married. She wants to change that. right? She wants to change that.
That's brilliant.
And then a few weeks later, she's representing England, going to Sweden, and she won gold, came back with a gold medal. So let's support her. Let's open doors for her.
100%.
Right, in boxing, and she's also an amateur footballer. So she's got so much talent there. But, the biggest problem with supporting talent is sponsorship. So we thought, there's definitely there's so many people out there. And then last year I connected with sportswear brand called Grip Active Sports.
Okay.
Spoke to the CEO. CEO loved the vision of New Young Blood. And he said, let's do a pilot of supporting Mayhek. And she's got her own clothing brand now.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Under brand MK, called One Woman, One Legacy, One Fight. 25%.
One woman, one legacy, one fight. That's her clothing brand, yeah?
Yeah, it's called brand MK. 25% of whatever she sells goes into her fund to fulfill her dream. She wants to get to the LA Olympics 2028. Whatever small or big difference we can make in her life to let her fulfill that journey, let's try. Let's try. Not just me, Muhammad at Grip Active Sports is supporting. We can pull a lot of people around supporting her or any other boxers. There's Syra, amazing young actress. She's done a few Bollywood movies.
I see.
And, let's open doors for them. Gia, amazing actress, just won Best Actress of the Year. Best Child Actress. She was in DRA with Paminda Nagra, who was in Bend It Like Beckham.
Oh,
13 years old. Let's support them.
Oh, Tandy, can I ask, how did you get in touch with them?
So most of them I know.
Okay.
Because they've supported my boys' journey through the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And we've just kind of connected through as friends, and I've seen them grow to doing amazing stuff.
You don't need to do this, do you?
No.
This is what people are not going to understand.
I know.
And it's mad that people don't understand this, but the key thing, like what they've not taking anything away from these girls and guys that are doing amazing things, like amazing, well done to them and keep it up.
Yeah.
And I too will do my very best to shout them out as much as I can do. But the underlying hero here is you. And I want you to know this, that people need to do this more. And people just are understanding that they ain't going to get where they need to get there based on just skill and their abilities. You need someone to literally do the legwork and
support them, right? And support and give them visibility and open up doors.
You touched upon something, sponsorships.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say I'm a business. Okay. How can I go about to sponsor one of these athletes, actors, anyone that wants to do something, these kids? What will the business get? So if there's anyone listening and they want to help, but they want to know, because at the end of the day, a business is a business. They're going to want to know what can they get out of it. So what can they get out of it from supporting one of these girls? Or guys?
It's obviously visibility of their brand, whether it goes on a training top, but what I say is the biggest reward in life is giving back. That's the biggest reward. Yeah. And it is all about giving back. New Young Blood is, the work that I'm doing with New Young Blood is all about giving back in terms of my experience, my knowledge, and making a bit of a difference in any of those talents' lives, even if it's big or small. But, going back to what I said, I can only do so much, but if we all come together as a collective, who can say, let's cherry pick the top, 5-6 talent in music, in acting, in football, cricket, and elevate them right to the top, then that's when that representation will matter, because we know we can get these people there. I've got X amount of experience. There's probably another 5 people we can pull together, and they'll probably have more experience. But there's enough of us, right, who can do it, not just me. Right?
There is absolutely enough people that can do it with even different skills.
Skills
needed.
And you know what? It is all about coming together, not having that mindset of thinking, what? I'm the only one who wants to do this. You all got to be on that same wavelength and saying, we're all going to rise these young talents together. No, we tend to think, because I'm doing it, I want to be the front man or front woman doing it. But we all got to do it together to be able to make sure that we can do it together and get these amazing young talent out there.
As a parent, what advice would you give to parents that want to nourish their children and push them towards greatness? Let's say they see a small spark and they realize that, oh, my child's got potential here. But as a parent, it's not fair to say, oh, this is the wrong way to think. But parents do generally think that education is the right way to go.
Yep,
and there's nothing else around it. That's how everyone's brought up to think.
Yeah.
However, alongside that, if someone wants to become a footballer, someone wants to become like the next Mahek and becomes a boxer, etc., how can parents guide them? What advice would you give who's doing it and is in the trenches?
I think it's just supporting them.
Okay.
Really supporting whatever talent your son or daughter has. And I run a WhatsApp group as well, where I see a lot of the parents really supporting their daughter and son in terms of following a dream in acting or music, and the support is amazing, and now that network of parents is supporting other parents, and then parents are supporting, the talent as well. So, we just had obviously we had our official launch last month, and it was just bringing together the talent, the parents, and just feel like a community. Like, what are you into? I'm into music. What are you into? I'm into sport. How long you been doing boxing? And it just felt like, we all need to come together and support each other.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of, and we did, and then on the spin-off of that, we've started the first series of individual invite-only events. We did our cricket. We took top, amazing young cricketers who are in academies to Lords. Some of them have not even been to Lords, but they're playing in academies. And when they went there, it was like, wow, the home of cricket in England. And they had an amazing time. We had a special guest from the US. She's in under-19s, the first South Asian under-19s in the US cricket team came down.
Wow.
And we had,
brilliant.
Vinay and Rohan. Rohan's one of our brand ambassadors for New Young Blood.
Okay.
And his dad is a part of the senior parent team now on New Young Blood. And, we discussed it, and said, let's do these series of events. Let's do music. Let's do cricket, football, racing. And we did our first one, last week. And we had an incredible time. And you'll see the footage and the image on social media of everybody just coming together. My boys were there to support, and they just hanged out with amazing young cricketers and just had pictures taken. And it was just a great feeling to be together, and parents met each other. And we're continuing that. We're going to be pushing out a few more this year, and you see where we go.
That's the ultimate form of networking, really, isn't it? What better than to do it for the next generation?
Yep.
And that's beautiful. That is really nice. You touched upon the Punjabi music industry. Yeah. And I was so shocked to hear that probably some of the CDs I purchased, you probably did the cover work for them.
Yeah.
So how did you get into that?
So, again, a lot of the work that I've done, doing cover art design, it's quite personal to me, and I don't really share it, and I've never really shared it. And, when I came out of art college, I wanted to go into the Punjabi music scene or the music scene, didn't specifically have to be Punjabi, obviously being Punjabi, Sikh. And, I approached Kedar Records, Kuljit Bumrah MBE, and I said, here's my work. And he said, here's a cover you can do for me. It was for the Kamal group. And I just come out of art college, and the Apple Mac started to come into play, right? And and I remember that when I came out of art college, my mum and dad would say to me, right, you need to get a job now. I think, oh God, I've taken an industry which they've kind of said, okay, you go into that industry, right? And you need to make your way. And to this day, we worked on 12, 13 albums. I've lucky I've worked on Baji on the Beach with Grinda Chadha, with Kuljit. Gormal Group was my first album with him. I actually saw it on online a couple of months ago, and I think it was one of the Bhangra Instagram accounts, and I saw it and I thought, oh, I remember that first album I did. And Sangeeta, rest in peace, the first female artist to break through a male-dominated Punjabi music industry, did 4 albums for her. And there's quite a lot of independent album covers I've done as well. And to this day, last year I worked on 2 albums with Kuljit on his Tabla album, Tabla Noughts. And so to this day, we still work together, and I enjoy working with him. And, he gave me my first opportunity.
Really?
Somebody had gone to, and to this day, forever grateful for him to give me that opportunity. He's an incredible man. And I look back and think, he gave me a chance, and he gives a lot of young musicians a chance.
Really? Shout out to him.
Yeah.
I like that. You did, you do like these award ceremonies, and then when you do these and you present these, you get so many celebrities and like people that come up and come in there. So there is hope.
Yeah.
There is people.
Yeah,
that
there
are
is.
willing to-
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
There is definitely. And it's just, it's all about coming together, right?
Yeah.
People who want to collaborate. I'm always open to collaborating, opening doors for talent, doing events. If they want to put on an event, want to support one of the events that we're now doing, and do a music event or bring together the next generation of actors. Let's celebrate them.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate their work.
Absolutely.
Let's mentor them. Let's teach them, open doors for them. It's not hard, right?
It's not hard.
I don't think it's hard.
It's not. What advice would you give to people that want to get into this whole idea of creating events? So let's say someone wants to create something, not even just an event. If someone that has children or has people that he thinks or she thinks that, they need the right guidance, what advice would you give them? How do they bring them up get him into that world of that exposure?
I think, just going back to, we have kind of a senior parent team now, which is part of New Young Blood.
Yeah.
Vinay, for example, looks after, he's more into the supports and even music area.
Okay.
We've got Simi on the TV side, film side, acting side, supported by Gominda, all there, and we've got Artie more on the entrepreneurship business side in terms of her daughter's got her own lip brand. So the parents have got the experience. So if there's other parents or who've got a young talent who is into music or into acting, the support is there.
You've essentially got a team. You've got the infrastructure.
Yeah. The infrastructure is there. So we get questions. How can we get? What's the process of getting into a modeling agency?
Yeah.
What's the process of getting into getting an acting agent? There's enough experience between us to be able to guide them and support them and say, there are people out there who will support these things. And even in music or even cricket, for example, Vinay, he's got so much experience. His son's, at 17, has got a lot of experience in cricket. 2 months ago, he was with Richie Sunak at the Bob Willis charity event.
Was he? Yeah.
And he's been in and showing him how to bowl. And Rohan's been in cricket for all his life. And he's run a cricket channel during COVID. Which is called Cricket Nuggets. He set that up during COVID. And he's been to the Houses of Parliament, been to Downing Street because he set this YouTube channel up, right? You tell me who's been to Houses of Parliament, apart from my boys, and Downing Street because he set a YouTube channel up, tips and tricks to show, the next generation how to play cricket or bowl and stuff.
That's incredible.
Right? So, let's celebrate these amazing talent. they are doing things. And I would say a lot of the talent I see are probably the top talent that I've seen who are doing things. For example, Rowan that I've given you, Mahek, Syra, Gia, obviously my boys. We've got Dean Singh, who wants to become the first Formula One racing driver. He's doing incredible stuff out there. We've got Dia, we've got also got Sophie Galani, amazing musician. Both Dia and Sophia doing excellent. So there is talent there.
There is there. And what I'm hoping, and I'm sure it will be the case, is that these individuals that are getting the guidance and help and support, and they're seeing all the running around you guys are doing, they can see how they're being supported. Hopefully it continues through them. Yeah. So when they've made it, and not if, when they've made it, and they're huge, because they received this guidance and this support, they will see and understand the importance of it, and they will do the same again. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It should have a knock-on effect.
Oh, yeah, that's how it hopefully, that's the idea.
That's the idea, isn't it?
I'll just go back to the cricket event last week. Rohan's our new young blood ambassador. He actually led the event, and he had 8 amazing young cricketers who are at academies. He led the event at 17 years old. And myself and Vinay, his dad, said, "Okay, we'll support it. Let's make it happen." We made it happen. Yeah. So the next event will have the same format, and so forth.
That's brilliant. So not only doing the support and doing the marketing, doing all these things on the side, you're also leading the charge on a separate crusade, a campaign, which is of awareness and remembrance. Yeah. And that was for Zara Alina. Yeah. So for people that don't know, who was Zara Alina? What happened?
So Zara Alina was a very dear friend, family, 20 plus years, 25 years. And she was murdered 3 years ago on her way home one evening. And it's just a sad story. It's just, women should be able to walk anywhere, doesn't matter what time, day or night, and the last 3 years I've been supporting the family and been supporting Farah, who's Zara's aunt, who's been campaigning to end violence against women and girls, at government level. And I've been there just to support and raise the profile of Zara and obviously violence against women and girls, especially within our community.
Oh, really? Is there a Instagram page or Facebook page or something?
There is an Instagram. I actually run Zara's Instagram.
You do, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I actually run her Instagram page.
Somewhere people can go to.
Yeah, it's Zara official, Zara Alina official. We do a video every year. We just did one back in June. Just to celebrate her life, and we'll continue doing that, and I'll continue supporting. And there's a lot of organisations out there within our community now, in violence against women and girls who need a lot of support. They run on voluntary basis, and it's very close to me in terms of raising the profile of her story.
I'll put that link in the description for this episode. For anyone that's watching, they can click that and they can have a look at what happened. Yeah. And to continue support and raise awareness for, it's like you said, women should be safe, girls should be safe to just walk in the night.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I got 3 daughters myself. Yeah. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame. It shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't be like that. And then I'd just like to say this year vigil we had back in June, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to Maya Lakhani, amazing artist who performed for us on a song called Walk Alone, which she actually performed at Glastonbury last year. And the song is about women who should be able to walk alone. It doesn't matter what time of the day. And she did an amazing a cappella with a partner. And we had Mimi there as well, another artist. So, it's so close to me in terms of raising awareness. We were at a couple of awards last year where a couple of the award ceremonies, supported her, shared her journey, shared her story, and myself and Farah were lucky to have been invited. So yeah, it's a very close initiative, to raise awareness.
So Tandy, if you were to collaborate with anybody, if you was to work with anyone you wanted to, who would it be to really obviously help push your new young blood company or your projects, and also just to bring awareness? Who do you think could be of value?
I think there wouldn't be anybody specific. It would be probably just like-minded individuals, organizations who share the same vision in terms of supporting the next generation.
Beautiful.
That would be my simple answer.
And what I'm hoping from that is your phone's just non-stop buzzing, because everyone should have that.
They should.
Everyone should have that.
They should, and have the ability to open doors for them. I keep on going back about opening doors. It is about opening doors for this amazing young talent who are out there, and everybody can open doors. Beautiful.
That's perfect answer, Liz. I was expecting you to say someone specific, but I couldn't have said it any better myself. It should be anyone like-minded, and it should be all of them, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. So, with that in mind, whether you're a celebrity or not, anyone that wants to get in contact with you directly themselves, anyone that has children and they want to get in touch with you, and I'm hoping everybody's inspired that's got kids by this. Even if you're just a parent and you want to be a part of that team, that infrastructure that you've got, I myself, I'll speak to you after this.
Definitely.
I definitely want to be involved in this as someone that's got children, and I want to see next kids go.
Brilliant.
The next generation go higher.
Yeah.
So where can we reach you, first of all?
So I'm on LinkedIn, Tandy Virdee.
Okay.
If you just type in Tandy Virdee, I'm sure, Google's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, Tandy Virdee, Instagram, Tandy Virdee. Obviously, my boys' clothing brand, which is Rocket Sonic Wear.
Okay.
And they've got their own website, rocketsonic.co.uk.
Yeah. And they can buy directly off the website.
They can buy directly. And then we've got New Young Blood, which is .com, which we've just kind of launched the site, and we're going to grow that site in the next few months. And then the Instagram is We Are New Young Blood. We are on other social platforms, but they're kind of the key ones.
Oh, that's beautiful. So what people don't know is that you brought me a goodie bag. I have been dying for this episode to finish, to come to conclude, so we can have some snacks. So everyone that's not looking, look at that. That's beautiful, that is. So we'll dive into them. Yeah. And I need a new young blood top.
Yes. Yeah, you're going to give me a size.
Next episode, I'll be wearing one of those bad boys. And I think we'll put a link up where people can directly click and just get some of them. Yeah. So thank you so much, Tandy, for coming and inspiring me and giving us all a bit of a wake-up call, because the next generation is not going to make it, and they're not going to be able to do and go to the places they need to go without people like you.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely honored to be, with you today, talking about my journey and obviously the initiatives that I'm kind of working with. And obviously, brilliant. The work you're doing, absolutely. That's how we connected, right?
Yeah.
I saw what you was doing, and I thought, what, this is great.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. One of the days, let's get the boys on here as well.
That's the idea I was going to talk to you about.
So well, we'll talk
a few of them, right?
What are your lads' names?
David and Rylan.
David and Rylan. Tell them they're gonna come on here. I'm gonna set this up with a two mics on one side.
Yeah, let's do it.
And let's go for it. I'd love to hear their perspective when dad's in the other room.
But they run. We run Instagram lives now.
You do? Oh, brilliant!
So So we actually there's Instagram lives on New Young Blood where talent talks to talent.
Brilliant.
About their journeys.
Yeah.
And how did you get into football? How did you get into music? And we've run, I think, 6, 7 since the last 8, 9 months. And then we also run a role model series where we invite individuals from industry. We've had some incredible people on there, which you just probably think, and they've supported us. We've had Manisha Taylor, MBE, and my boys interviewed her about her footballing journey. and we collaborated with her on her book, Dream Like Me.
Yeah.
Which, and had a signed copy from her. Boys have also done an Instagram live with Yana, who has her own lip care brand, with Shazad Nawaz, MBE, who's a serial entrepreneur who's deaf, who's got his own book, From Deaf to MBE. He luckily sent us his book as well. So, I tried to get some of the talent involved in Instagram lives, and we've had...
we need to get you an MBE.
Sarge, I don't know. Yeah. So Sarge Raja, an amazing actor, back in June. We've had Rita Mora, amazing musician. So, there's a role model series that we've been doing, and we've just done one actually on Wednesday with Jeevan Singh, an award-winning film director who did a film just recently, Envious and Jealousy, who's won Cannes Award.
Oh, wow.
And a couple of weeks later, we had Sonam Kapila from she's an actress, amazing actress from LA. So my boys did an Instagram live with her. And the reason why that is, and I'll tell you the reason why that is, last year I said to my boys, give me a role model within our community that you can say to me, that's my role model.
Wow.
Tell me what the answer was. You're going to tell me.
Oof. Give you a role model from our community or industry, sorry.
Our community.
From our community. Oh my goodness. You?
Well, but apart from
that's my answer. You?
They said, Dad, I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Don't know anyone. Ronaldo. I said, Ronaldo is obviously amazing footballer. I'm a Manchester United fan, by the way.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's quite sad.
It is 100%.
It was really sad hearing that. And I thought we should be celebrating our own role models within our own community, right? We should, there's enough of us. It goes back to having enough of role models within our community, music, football, cricket, you name it. We should be celebrating them and looking and saying, I want to become like XYZ. And hence the reason why that idea came from, starting the first ever role model series, bringing in people, who have paved the way, broken down barriers, in terms of, our own talent, kids looking up to them, saying, brilliant what they've done, and be inspired by them. It's all about being inspired, right?
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
So they've done, actually this month we've done 2, which it builds them confidence.
When is the next one?
So next one we're planning one, but I'll let you know.
Let me know. I'll post it up as well.
Yeah, but
I'm just hearing about it's got me fascinated. I want to.
Yeah,
talent,
so they've done
talent.
about 8 or 9 now, and that's kind of organically growing as well. We've had some great support. I'd like to give a massive shout out, a massive shout out to my good friend Apache Indian.
What a legend.
Yeah. He's been the number one supporter.
Really?
Number one supporter of New Young Blood from day one. Obviously, I know him from the past, but he's amazing. I've got to give a massive shout out because
please,
he's really sort of supported from everything that we've done with the launch event, supporting Mayhek, wearing her gear. Recently, he went to Canada wearing her top.
That's huge.
That is support.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. There's your role model. There's your role model. That's the answer people should be having. People on his level. Who have got a name, who have got legacy, people that don't need to do this. Yeah, those are the ones that we should be celebrating.
He's been doing it for years.
Really,
he's been doing, supporting young artists. But honestly, I can't thank him. I don't know. Brilliant. It's just been amazing that there are people out there who want to make a difference.
Apache Indian, you're a legend. I just want to let you know that. That is beautiful. That's made my day. That is because. When you love someone for their talent, their music, and you always listen to it, and then you hear a story about them, and you're like, oh man, I wish that person wasn't like that because I loved their talent. Yeah. The other side, the flip side, when you love someone's music and then you hear something great about them, you're like, yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's made my day. I'm gonna blast some Apache Indian after this now. Yeah. Does he still do music?
Yeah, he does.
He does. Brilliant. People, check out Apache Indian.
Yeah.
Look at his new songs. I'll be checking out his new stuff.
He's got some amazing new tracks coming out with young artists. Yeah.
Wow, Tandy,
Forever
what a great way to finish. That's just made my day. That is hearing that about Apache Indian. That he's supporting new young blood, supporting you as well.
Yeah,
he's a real one. That's brilliant. Tandy, thank you so much.
You.
It's been an absolute honor. Thank you. Thank you very much.